Bullet Time.
Yeah, that existed. Let's up the ante.
Deja Vu.
What'd you say? I think. Have I met you before?
Gesundheit. Oh my! I'm not sure the Matrix Resurrections deserves our time.
Which certainly did not resurrect the series.
No. We're going to dive into this thing head first, and we're going to be careful and make sure we're in the deep end because...
I can't swim.
You can't?
I don't like swimming.
Okay, well, you better not dive.
I have some floaties.
We'll float out in the lake. Right. Man, I am super disappointed. I'm just super disappointed.
I know, there was no red dress.
There's no red dress. It
was a weird movie.
It started out... Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Started out that...
I like the premise where it started.
You like that? So if they're going to do that,
yeah.
Here's what I think. The way they started it was the way they started the original Matrix.
Yeah.
But slightly different.
Yeah.
So I think if they would have, I think doing that, and I understand why they did it the way they did, but I still didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's such a difference between understanding and liking, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they recreate the first part of the Matrix, the first film,
right,
in this one, but there's slight differences.
Yeah,
the outfits are a little different. Obviously the characters are sort of similar, and they say a lot of the same lines.
Right,
but I think what they should have done is they should have had, that original scene running.
Yeah.
Instead of recreating it with other characters.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
It would have it would have served the same purpose, I guess.
Movies. The average person can be inspired by them. They can make us laugh. Movies can keep us on the edge of our seat, and so much more. Maddie's Movie Mix is a podcast for movie enthusiasts of all kinds. We hope you enjoy the show.
Wait. Matt Logan!
Yes, we both had the same problem. You.
Listen. You smell something?
Yippee-ki-yay! This is Tyler Peterson. I think the hardest part about this movie is that there are so many reboots of series now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just watched Spider-Man No Way Home, where they brought in the old universes. Not a full reboot, but instead of, I feel like, Hollywood coming up with new ideas, they're rebooting old series and trying to fill that nostalgia of when the movies came out. And so I thought this movie was weird in the sense that they had so many clips from the original film, which at times I didn't mind. But it was weird at the same point because specifically Lawrence Fishburne, he was recast.
Yeah, that was confusing, and then they tried to explain it, and it became more confusing.
Oh, yeah. You should never have to explain stuff like that.
Oh,
You should
exactly.
feel natural. It's like time travel. You should never have to explain time travel.
Right.
It should flow with the film.
Yes. And so... he wasn't even like asked to be part of this. He's publicly said that, Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because when I read it was like Lawrence Fishburne, when he was asked about his return, told the reporter to have Lana Wachowski because he didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, how awkward is that? Like,
I know.
Being such an integral part of the original films and not even...
All three.
Yeah.
I mean, his character was...
Yeah, sorry, I meant to say trilogy.
Yeah.
But not to not even be reached out to or say, hey, this is why we're doing what we're doing. It's nothing against you, but this is just where we're moving.
Right.
To not even be reached out, like, how much of a cold shoulder is that?
Yeah, the transition was
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it was.
from this whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, I quit
Did you?
The Matrix. I'm done.
Good.
I burned them all.
All of them?
No.
That's good.
But I felt like it. Like, this totally wrecks the first three for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't wreck it, but it certainly doesn't. It's not. No, it doesn't add anything. It's not congruent at all. I don't know why both Wachowskis didn't come together and do it together. Yeah. I don't know.
The only thing the other person, I forget, was it Lily? Is that who the other one is?
Yeah.
Because Lana did this one. Or was that she was just busy, which I don't know what she's doing with her life. Like, I don't know if she was just gone out of the industry, but that was what I had found with it.
Sure. Well, yeah, but that's, I don't know.
Yeah. There was something interesting that I read too, is in the way it correlated the film was that Warner Brothers were going to continue the Matrix series with or without the Wachowskis.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed how they made. I thought it was one of those, I forget what the word is, out of mind experiences, because they made fun of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Because they're like, yeah, we're going to reboot the game series with or without you, Neo.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's what Warner Brothers
totally.
wants. So
yeah.
I thought that was a fun, what's the word?
Homage?
Homage?
I don't know.
Something.
Yeah.
It'll come to me by
No, I know. It was also awkward, but also I understood it because, yes, I had heard that too. But it was also awkward in the film, I thought.
I thought
like,
it was funny.
It was funny,
yeah.
But it's a little bit, that kind of a pun like that is a little bit, it's not super necessary. It doesn't,
it was forced.
Yeah, super forced is a great word. Super forced. Yeah. So I don't like that when they do things like that personally. I have a bad attitude about this film. I'm not going to even say anything differently. I'm looking at the numbers that this thing did earlier today.
And they made sense.
Again, right. I mean, I looked at them. We were going to do this, was it
last week?
Last week? Yeah. I don't know. And I'm a loser, so I had to reschedule. But
this was a movie. Well, I was kind of happy that it was like pushing it back a week, because I talked to my dad about it. He didn't give any spoilers, but he was like, have you seen it? And I was like, no, not yet, but we're going to be reviewing it. And he was like, yeah, it's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's great to hear.
I had to watch it a second time because I was like, okay, there must have been something that I just missed and that I'll catch the second time that just like all makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Nope. And
$125 million at the box office, $190 million budget.
And here's how do they, with HBO Max, because that's where I watched it. I didn't actually go to the theater.
Same.
Just because the reviews, I didn't feel like paying for it. And to be honest, if I'm being real, it will eventually do the original trilogy. But I'm just not a huge Matrix fan to begin with, for better or for worse.
Right.
It was something I couldn't get into.
What I didn't. So when the Matrix came out, I mean, you were very young.
Yeah.
I was younger, but not.
It was
very
1999.
young.
The first one came out, right?
Yeah. I watched it in probably 2000, late 2000, I would say.
Okay.
Because it was a sleeper movie.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it really just it blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's while I like movies that are kind of that sci-fi, push the envelope type thing, I do enjoy those. I was just like, I don't know. It didn't seem like anything I was excited to go see.
And can I say, Keanu Reeves is one of the weirdest. He does not seem like a person that knows martial arts, kung fu. Like, to me, when I see him, I just see a tall, lanky, awkward guy.
Yeah.
And so I always think it's just one of the most fascinating things that he is in being John Wick and now the Matrix and then John Wick, where he has these huge action sequences. But whenever I see
he knows it.
Yeah.
It's him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him though.
Yeah, no, he seems like a
great
pretty
guy.
cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it comes out. It's a sleeper movie. I watch it. Actually, my uncle, he's like, "Hey, have you seen this movie yet?" He said, "I just got, I didn't see it till it came out on DVD or whatever."
Yeah.
Or actually, I think wasn't even the first one I watched. I'm not sure it was on DVD in '99, 2000 or whatever. That would have been VHS. And he's like, "Yeah, this just came out. I just got it. Have you seen it?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I have no interest in seeing it."
Yeah.
And we watched it.
Right.
And I was like, I loved it.
Yeah. It
really pushed the boundaries of filmmaking. They
Yeah.
came up with obviously the bullet time or whatever. And those things. It was very, very fun, very revolutionary. It changed the way they did movies altogether.
Yeah.
And then they come out with this one, 21 years later, and they just blow it.
Yeah. The graphics weren't good.
No.
We were talking about bullet time was a new thing. What was the new thing they brought in? Because they're like, "Oh, we're bringing this new feature or this."
Yeah.
Was it bullet time?
They hyped it up. No, it wasn't bullet time. It was they said based off of bullet time or whatever, and it was like stop motion, or I don't remember it was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have a bad.
The other
bad
thing I'll say is the beginning, the Matrix or not, the agents in the Matrix feel like stormtroopers.
Yeah.
They're so bad at it was obnoxiously bad.
Yeah, it was.
Oh gosh.
I'm not. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
And they're not even using phones anymore. They're just jumping through windows, which I thought was stupid. They didn't really provide a great explanations why they're able to go through windows now rather than the phones, which I thought was more fun because those are more rare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was more challenging to find that.
Yeah.
So I agree with.
So the one fun fact that I thought was interesting. So Trinity's husband, whose name is Chad, was played by Chad Stahelski, who was Keanu's stunt double in the original trilogy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So I thought that was a fun tribute.
So totally. I didn't know that. I honestly, this review, I took very few notes. I
had to find fillers for whenever we'd actually start talking about things because there's not a lot that I have to say about the actual breakdowns. There was some parts that I thought were pretty fun to see Keanu and Carrie, back on the screen together. That was pretty fun. I thought it was I thought it was extremely dumb how they brought them back to life. And how they explained all that kind of stuff. And, I get it. They needed to explain it, but seems like it was slapped together. And every fashion that could be slapped together. Let's get some tape. Let's stick this idea here. Let's stick that idea there. Oh, it fell. Where did it go? Let's put it over here.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know.
Yeah. And it's too they should not have recasted.
Right.
They had, you got both Morpheus and then Agent Smith.
Right.
Both of those were iconic characters that should not have been messed with. You could have easily come up with somebody else. Even just maybe do a flashback of a character we weren't introduced to in the film, but maybe there was a connection that, I don't know. They could have just done so many different things rather than rehashing the same characters because it did an incredible disservice.
Yeah, they could have called Morpheus Moby Dick or something like that.
The white whale.
I'm obviously being very facetious, but they could have done something okay, this is sort of supposed to be Morpheus on the digital side of things, because I don't know, but the way they did it was a 1-to-1.
Don't do flashbacks with the original characters if you don't have the original characters in the new movie.
Totally agree.
It makes it so awkward.
I'm gonna blame this. I'm gonna blame this fail on COVID-19.
Yeah, that's a good thing to blame things on.
I mean, everybody else blames everything on COVID-19, right?
Yeah. Well, you can. I mean, you can almost blame Lana as well, because obviously Lawrence Fishburne wasn't even reached out to.
Yeah, no, I'm obviously kidding, but it's actually COVID-19 should have saved this. They should have looked back, because they started filming it, and I did put that down because I was really curious, because I remember the buzz, of course, of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, they started filming in February of 2020, but immediately halted it in March.
Yeah. And they could have just kept it halted and never released anything.
Yeah. Or they could have taken that opportunity to say, yeah, this script sucks.
Yeah. Let's really figure out what would be good.
Yeah.
Oh,
actor chemistry.
The other thing that was weird is it who is the original? Is it Hugo
Weaving.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The weird part
also played Lord Elrond.
Yeah, that's what I remember him in.
Mm-hmm.
He makes a good villain character. Not that Lord Elrond is a villain character.
Yeah.
But he's been a villain in a few other films too.
Yeah.
And
he did great in V.
Yeah.
V for Vendetta. He wasn't supposed to be cast in that as V. I can't remember who was now, but because we're not talking about that. But anyway, yes.
But I think his ability to be a deadpan and be able to deliver menacing lines is an incredible attribute that you don't see, but it makes it for a very menacing film that not a lot of people in the same situation, probably given the same lines, would be able to portray that.
Right.
Because they tried to do that with Jonathan Groff.
Yeah.
Again, just make new storylines.
Yeah.
How hard? Not how hard, because I'm not a writer in any sense, but
yeah.
Gosh, it was painful.
I've talked about this on another podcast and stuff, but they can't figure out new ideas. I feel like the last 20 years they're recycling everything.
Yeah.
I mean, what's a good original story right now? Not much.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just talking about Spider-Man recently.
Yeah.
I mean, how many freaking Spider-Mans are there in your lifetime?
3. That doesn't include animated.
Right. That's a lot.
That is a lot. Well, John Wick was original. Ish.
What do you mean?
Well, you're talking about original storylines.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. It's the storyline, yeah. I was thinking Spider-Man, like John Wick and Spider-Man.
Don't you remember at the end of the film where he goes out and kills all the spiders?
Right. Yeah, no, that's true. That's pretty. Yeah, that one is pretty good for an original, but it's not many.
Yeah, it's far and few in between. But yeah, even it's just Mr. Anderson, iconic lines. I loved it in the originals.
And they call him Thomas Anderson quite a bit in this too,
which I thought was stupid.
Yeah, it was just odd.
At least he knows kung fu.
That's true.
I gave it 3.2.
Oh, sorry, what's that?
Actor chemistry.
Yeah, what?
3.2.
3.2. He Keanu, he's got that long hair.
Yeah, which I like him in long. I didn't like his short hair in the original.
Right.
I thought that was a good switch.
I agreed. But when he had the short hair in this film, do you think he cut his hair, or was that CGI'd?
I think it was CGI'd.
Yeah. I feel like it was.
There's no way you could cut it and then have it remain that long. And he was doing John Wick where he has it longer too.
Yeah.
One of those bald caps where they just Sharpied little dots.
Right.
On top.
Actor chemistry for me was a 3.8. I struggled getting it that high. I
didn't get it that high.
just because there were a lot of scenes that they did act well.
I like Neil Patrick's performance was great, but again, the way that they had the movie directed was awful.
Yeah,
I thought it was really. I liked his blue glasses. To me, that was the closest to a blue dress that I got in this film.
Red dress.
Yeah. Oh, what did I say?
Blue.
Yeah, well, colorblind, you know.
Rewind
Actually,
it.
I'm not.
Prove it. Yeah. Anyway, filming locations. I'm a 4.0 on it. I thought it was kind of fun where they did a few, quite a few different things in the machine world. They did the new city. I forgot the freaking name of the new city even. What was the new city's name? I'm honestly like a bad attitude with this film.
Yeah.
I just didn't write hardly anything down. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to get through this.
The only place that I liked in this movie, I like how the only thing I liked,
right?
Filming I really like the meditation area.
Sure,
that was fun. I like that it was. I mean, again, it's in the Matrix, so it could be wherever the heck you want it to be.
Yeah.
And so it's isolated. You got the big booms. You see things explode. Thought that was cool.
Yeah.
The new city, whatever it wants to be named, I struggled with it just being dark.
Sure, but
that's something
the Zion feel.
Well, I know, and that's
right.
I mean, it's again a choice. I didn't like that choice. I would have been being able to see things a little bit better.
Yeah.
Whether that's just adding more lights to blue lights to accent towers or anything like that.
Well, I think because a lot of it was CGI.
Oh, absolutely,
That's
was.
why they keep it dark like that.
Yeah,
So.
I gave it 3.6.
Okay, cinematography. Let's go right into that right hard.
A lot of, like I said, I didn't like the darkness of the film.
Yeah.
It was hard to see things.
I think the cinematographer did a pretty good job with the direction they probably had. I gave it a 3.9. It was too dark, but there were enough scenes that felt like originals.
I did not like bullet time.
Yeah.
And that it looked like he was having some sort of seizure whenever he was moving, which I think part of it was a choice, but part of it was I thought his character was able to move smoothly while, not John Wick. Neo was frozen. Neo's character made sense to me be, kind of glitchy as he's trying to save Trinity. It did not make sense to me why I don't even know. The analyst. I was going to say Barney Stinson. Because that's just how this movie's going.
I know. It's I know.
So I didn't understand why he was glitching. Why couldn't he just... There's so many films where when scenarios like that, the one person can walk smoothly. It looks natural. It looks good. Why did he have to be so... even though he was technically walking normal speed.
Right.
So I gave it a 3.5.
Okay. Costume design.
I like the blue glasses.
There were some cool glasses in this.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, that Matrix does have that going for it with the iconic glasses.
Yeah.
They tried to do they did it with Morpheus, even though he was recast and it was stupid, but he still had his glasses.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. 3.7 on costume design for me. It was that probably should have been a 2.7 instead of 3.7, but there was enough in it that I said, all right, I'm going to bring it up because it's just kind of there.
See, Matt, this is the movie that inspired you in the red dress.
I know.
And you gave it still a 3.7 with no red dress.
I know. If it had the red dress, that probably would have been a
5.6.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's again a choice of the movie of how it works, but I never liked the tubes. I am not a person who likes anatomy in the slightest. And so when they get these wires, these weird metal things coming out of their like body that were whatever medically put into them. It's a choice. I don't like that choice. I think it's disgusting watching needles come out of people's bodies for whatever it's worth. So I gave it 3.4.
Okay.
Blue glasses saved it. That was my red dress.
Yeah, exactly. The score, the music.
Yeah. It was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah. I like the kung fu scene. I always like it when in fight scenes where there's people, there's big falls where like you're falling to the ground. You can see the ground shake matches the beats of like the score where like boom and then he's falling, and those match up really well.
Yeah.
I thought they did that pretty well with the
Yeah.
kung fu scene. I didn't really pay attention to the score and how it affected the movie much else in the film, but I thought it was good. I thought it was
Did you
okay.
watch it once?
I watched it once.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Yeah, and I watched it twice thinking like, okay, I'm missing something here.
Yeah.
This can't be this bad.
Yeah. But it was.
It was.
I gave it a 4.0. Music, I gave it a 4.0.
Okay. I'm a 4.2.
Okay.
Some of those areas, that you mentioned, the kung fu, were great. The fight scene music I thought was really good.
Yeah.
It definitely. I can't imagine if the score was bad. If that was bad, I mean, this movie would have been just terrible. The score helped it.
Here's what I'll say with score and action films. I think action films, or the score is going to enhance it no matter what during a fight. It's hard to mess up a fight scene with score because there's so many things that you can do to match it up to make it look nice and to entice you, where maybe, it's not sounding right, so you can boost up the volume to make the sound really permeate. So I think, again, the score was nothing phenomenal, but again, it's an action film, so it's, again, kind of hard to mess. Like, there's been very few films where I'm like, oh, this action scene sucked because of the music. No, usually the music is like, oh man, I'm into this music because all the music has to do is something upbeat.
Yeah.
At least from my experience of watching these type of movies.
Yeah, no, that's a good point for sure. Yeah. Overall entertainment value for you?
I gave it 3.2 again. And my struggle is there have been so many good reboots where they, they're able to tie in the old films. Ghostbusters, Spider-Man, like there's been so many recently where they reference the old ones in good ways. Star Wars Force Awakens, there's another one where they made nods to the original. They didn't explicitly have to show it. They didn't say anything, or maybe they had a quote where they were referencing it. But this film, anytime they were really referencing the original trilogy, they usually had a flashback, or they had the original Morpheus, or they had the original Agent Smith. And so you're taking away from what this film could have been to build towards the future.
Yeah.
I think a good reboot is able to tie in the old without showing it because the fans are going to understand what it means.
Right.
And what that allows for the new movie is to make those references, but make a new universe and move it forward.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. The overall entertainment value for me was a 3.8. I did watch it a second time because I was hoping that I there was something in there that I missed.
Yeah.
There was a couple of things that, I'm like, I kind of caught that, but I understood it a little bit deeper.
Right.
But you could not be entertained by this movie without really knowing the other three.
No.
And that's dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
You at least need to be entertained.
Right.
If you can't be entertained by it.
Well, because
as a newbie.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate part is The Matrix is a fascinating concept. Like I said, I thought the premise was very intriguing of, he's in the simulation again. He created a trilogy of games.
Yeah.
And then he got trapped back in. And then, I mean, these were the nods I liked where he was consuming the blue pills. They didn't have to explain it.
Yeah.
People understood. Or even if you didn't understand the movie, you would have if he's taking pills, oh, this is what's causing the rut.
Yep.
So that's a good blend of bringing the old, new people understand what's going on, and progressing the story.
Yeah.
But then, when they got to reintroducing the old characters, they relied too much on old clips.
Yeah. 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 So overall rating, 3.7 for me.
Okay. I think, I'm looking at my sheet of paper that I have some of my notes on. I realize I didn't even give it an overall score. I at least didn't write it down, but I would give it a 3.4.
Yeah.
Again, I would need to rewatch the original trilogy. It's been a long time since I've watched the first Matrix, but it was not one that initially hooked me.
Right.
To make me care about the franchise or series as a whole. And so, again, I'm sure there were a lot of references in this movie to the old. So even having a better understanding would probably make me appreciate this one more.
No. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Probably make you appreciate it less.
Okay.
Because I did watch the first and the second one.
Okay.
I don't think I made it to the third one. Like probably in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
In preparation for this.
Right.
So I'm a little bit more fresh. Yeah, and it's just like no.
It's just too bad.
I'm so sad.
Yeah.
Because the Matrix series, it changed a generation of movie making.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did.
Well, there were so many cool concepts. I mean, the mirror, the slow motion, the bolt, like being able to dodge bullets, like those things are still iconic today.
Yeah. If you're still listening or watching to this podcast, because let's face it, this movie sucks.
Yeah.
Our attitude was terrible.
But maybe you liked it.
Maybe. Tell us. What do you think?
Tell us why you thought it was terrible.
Exactly. Let's plant that seed.
That's right.
Hammer?
Time.
Nailed it.
Oh, yeah.
See you next time.
Okay, so I'll see you later, huh? I'll give you a call.
So it's done.
It's done.